Good Wednesday to you, everybody, in Gov 603. Welcome to week boom 4. How's everybody doing? You hanging in there? All right. January ending, February beginning. End of winter, maybe beginning of spring. We'll see what the groundhog has to say. But before we get started today, nothing on today's coffee cup except for coffee cup, and this is a an old tried and true one that's seen many a morning cup. I mean, look, it's got a chip out of the, where is it? Right there, got a chip out of the porcelain, so I try not to drink off on that side. Okay, much better here. Wait a minute. Let's not forget the Regent merch. There. Now we are official. All right. Let's take a look at what you've got to do this week. Before we do, though, I want to say a little bit about your papers. I have had a chance to comment on your proposed paper topics, at least comment on everybody who, had their stuff, had a proposed paper topic on there by this weekend, I think. Okay. So in general, and I'm making little comments in the reply section to your proposed topic. Okay. But overwhelmingly, not in general. Let's get that straight. What we have going on here is there's just not enough detail. I mean, you look, do yourself a big favor when you start a research project. Okay. And I'm not picking on anybody here. I'm just going to use an example of the first post from this discussion thread. Oh, in fact, I won't even use the person's name. This person writes, my topic will be gun violence in the U.S. Okay. Gun violence, what? Where? What time? What's the political angle? Because remember what it is that you're out to do and what it is that you need to do in this assignment, this part 1 of your paper. You've got to put together these 3 key sections for the first part of your paper. Okay. And this is due February 12th, just as a reminder. And in your the 3 key sections, you need to have an introduction which clearly states the focus of your research. Now, remember, you don't have to go through and do the research. This is a proposal design, but try to think of it as something in which you might be applying for money. Okay. And so if you came to an organization and said, well, I want money to study gun violence in the US, they say, yeah, okay, great. Like what? You need to be very specific. Secondly, and this is where you come in, a literature review. Gun violence about what? Laws that allow guns, that prohibit guns, response to shootings. What? You're going to have to dig out sources that speak to the background and sort of the foundational issue of this topic. The more specific and narrow you have the topic, the easier it is for you to conduct your literature review. And then finally, the third section, your methodology. You really cannot describe what it is or how it is you're going to study something without first describing what it is that you're going to study. So for everybody, unless I've indicated otherwise, excuse me, on your proposed topic, more detail, more specificity. Okay. All right. Let's get to the readings for this week and what it is that we're up to. I want you to read chapter 3 in Powner. And then I have a couple of few articles attached for you. One is called Why Did Van Gogh Cut Off His Ear? The second one is Toward a Unified Theory of Causality. And the third is Describing Relationships. And then I've given you some causal diagrams. The main focus of this week is we're going to get at what it what it is that often happens in empirical research and why sometimes that's not a good idea. All right. Specifically, why is it that it's not a good idea to say there is one reason and one reason only that Van Gogh cut off his ear? In other words, how do we account for human behavior? Because human behavior is complex. Okay. Um, so, that's what you're going to find in that article. I want to give you the opportunity to try on some of these causal explanations. Okay. Specifically, there are two main areas, two main types of research that's often done, especially when you're examining a phenomenon historically. That is, you're not generating a quantitative study, you're not taking a survey, you're not crunching numbers. When you're going to look back at events, okay, and these two areas are sometimes called case-oriented studies and population-oriented studies. Take the January 6th riots. If you were going to write a history, if you're going to write a research paper about them, which of these two orientations would you use? Case or population? And in reading the articles, I'm not going to tell you what the difference is, because the point of the exercise is for you to read the articles and to understand what the difference is. Okay. And then in that same vein, what I'm asking you to get at this week is, why is it that we're concerned with the relationship between variables as researchers? What is it that a literature review does and does not do, and is not? Pay particular attention to stuff like this, because for your part one of your paper, and remember, no draft work, okay, you're asked, one of your sections that you're asked to produce is a literature review. Okay. All right. So one chapter from the text and then 3 short attached readings for this week. All right. And then otherwise you should be busying yourself with your paper. Please, again, see the comments that I've made to you in in that discussion board, that discussion thread. I don't know what to call this on Canvas. Is it a discussion board? Is it a discussion thread? I just don't know. And then, not right away, but coming up in the not terribly distant future, that is towards the end of February, is your midterm exam. I'll say more about that as we get into February, but since February is a short month, even during a leap year, which is this year, 29 days, okay, it goes by quickly. But in general, to prepare for your exam, and you can start preparing for it right now, which is a good idea, by the way, make sure that you go through the discussion questions, that you understand them, and that you are able to answer, not only just say, questions like, what is this, as opposed to that, but you're able to articulate the concepts that are touched on in the questions. So if I said, on an exam, if I had a picture of something and I said, true or false, is this a scatter plot? You'd be able to go like that. Or if I said, in say a short answer, what is a scatter, in charting, what sort of data is a scatter plot best suited for? You'd be able to go, oh yeah, or yes, that's a scatter plot. Oh yeah, this is what a scatter plot's best suited for. Stuff like that. Okay, and the way to do that is to start going back, reviewing the discussion questions and answers, and then make sure that you're watching these videos, because I'm going to give you information in the videos, not only about what to expect, but there'll be questions that come from the videos as well. All right. Okay, folks, that's about 10 minutes. That's all that I wanted to take for your time this morning. Have a great week. Okay. And I will watch for you on Canvas. Take care, everybody. God bless, and bye-bye.